The federal government has commended the United States for approving an emergency humanitarian waiver that allows people living with HIV to continue accessing treatment funded by the U.S. government across 55 countries, including Nigeria. The U.S. Department of State recently announced an executive order on an immediate 90-day funding pause for all foreign assistance, including for funding and services supported by the United States President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, the world's leading HIV initiative. U.S. President Donald Trump recently ordered a funding pause for HIV treatment in developing countries as part of an executive order on foreign aid. As a result, the U.S. Department of State suspended the disbursement of funds from the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief (PEPFAR). PEPFAR is providing HIV treatment for more than 20 million people living with the disease in Nigeria and globally, including 566,000 children under 15 years of age. But the Joint United Nations Programme on HIV/AIDS in a statement on Wednesday said the U.S. government approved a waiver that allows people living with HIV to continue accessing treatment. The Joint United Nations Programme on HIV/AIDS on Wednesday, however, stated that the U.S. government approved a waiver that allows people living with HIV to continue accessing treatment. A statement signed by the head, Public Relations and Protocol of the National Agency for the Control of AIDS, Toyinada Abigbe, said, "The Nigerian government appreciates the U.S. government waiver and is mindful of the potential change to foreign aid in the near future under the new administration. UNAIDS welcomes this waiver from the U.S. government, which ensures that millions of people living with HIV can continue to receive life-saving HIV medication during the assessment of U.S. foreign development assistance," the statement reads. The Nigerian government would intensify domestic resource mobilization strategies towards ownership and sustainability of the HIV response in the country with a view to reducing the risks of donor aid policy shifts to the HIV response while ensuring that the country's strategic goals and targets in the fight against HIV are achieved. Through effective stakeholder collaboration, creating favorable policies, and enabling environment and advocacy to policymakers, Nigeria can still achieve the target of ending AIDS by 2030. It said Nigeria has the highest number of people living with the human immunodeficiency virus in the West and Central African region, and over the past 2 decades, partners in the global AIDS response have supported the government and institutions in the country to scale up prevention, treatment, care, and support for those living with and affected by HIV/AIDS. The U.S. government, through PEPFAR, has immensely supported Nigeria's HIV/AIDS response over the years, particularly in sustaining the treatment of people living with HIV in Nigeria. PEPFAR Nigeria remains the biggest donor for treatment programs in the country as their contributions cover approximately 90% of the treatment burden, it noted. It also appealed to state governors, private sector partners, members of the National Assembly, state houses of assembly, civil society organizations, the media, and stakeholders to continue in their commitment and support to the fight against HIV/AIDS in Nigeria.